This from BrownsWire.com, grading every rookie's season from the Browns. We'll go through some of the guys on offense. So they go wide receiver Cedric Tillman. They give him a C-. Struggled to expand his route tree. Appeared to run the wrong routes more than one occasion. Has to continue to improve, but his combination of size, athleticism, strong hands could help develop him into a solid pass catcher for the Browns. I don't know if he ran the wrong route. I think, Scott, there were some nuanced things where, he didn't break it off at the correct. I don't think it was necessarily the wrong route. It's you can't let a defender get leverage inside you because this is the NFL and everybody's athletic.
Yeah, he might not have seen the coverages like the quarterbacks did, and that cost him, right? I don't remember the exact numbers, but I know at one point, three or four Flacco's interceptions were headed for Tillman. I think of the Chicago game, he didn't cut in front of the defender, and that leads to the interception. You can call it a wrong route, you can call it a wrong read of the coverage, whatever it is. And I want to say the Jets game, and they were in the red zone. They went for it on fourth down. And Tillman ran like a little skinny post, but he kept it straighter than bending it. And Flacco, this is as upset as I've seen Joe Flacco. He was visibly set. He's like, you can tell him making arm gestures like, hey, you ran it wrong. Like, it's a touchdown if you run it right. So there's certainly room for Tillman to improve. I think that would be area number one. But having said that, I like the hands that he showed. I thought they were strong. The couple that he didn't have a ton of catches, but he ran hard when he did catch the ball. His size is obvious, and it showed up in games, right? Once he started to play more after the Donovan Peoples-Jones trade. So I just think it's going to take some time. It's a learning curve. And I even flash back to being at the Greenbrier, and I talked to Tillman at the Greenbrier about this. There was one drill, and you watch all these drills, where Chad O'Shea, the receivers coach, had him run the same route like 4 times. And it's just on air. And he kept screwing it up, and they kept rerunning it. And it's just, you come into the league, and that's something some guys take longer to figure out.
Yeah, the other thing, he showed up as a blocker in the run game pretty big time. And that's why you would expect more time to develop for guys drafted later in general. Third-round pick, he's probably on target for a third-round pick. All right, this guy's ahead of schedule, though. DeJuan Jones, another guy that they took a tackle. They give him an A. Stepped in right away through. He needs to work on his run blocking. Hard to argue he isn't already a borderline elite pass protector. Let's lump in the quarterback that they took in the 5th round, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. They grade him with a C. DTR, great arm to push the ball downfield, though his deep ball accuracy needs some improvement. When you look at Jones in particular, it's hard to argue. I mean, he played like a first rounder.
Yeah, he did, and that analysis is right on. The run blocking wasn't good enough. You talk to coaches, you talk to his teammates. That's where he needs to get better. And you would assume with the feet he has, with the size he has, and I think he's got some nasty in him. I think that showed up. There's no reason he can't become that elite run blocker. I don't know if he was borderline elite, but he was really good as a pass protector, like really good. And you expect him to only get better, right? Assuming he works hard, assuming all those things. Comes back from injury, keeps his weight under control. All those questions everybody had before the draft. He put them all to sleep when he played and played really well. Now you got to figure out where he fits, right? Because a tackle situation we don't know, but he was certainly a big surprise, right? I think a pleasant surprise from this draft class. And you can say that a lot of Andrew Berry's rookies don't have instant success, but he certainly did.
Yeah, he made the draft class. You didn't have a first-round pick. You didn't have a second-round pick. You end up getting a guy that looks like he's going to be a starter for several years in the 4th round. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, again, this was a guy as a 5th-round draft selection at quarterback. You don't expect him to play. So I'm not down on him in the least. It's going to take him some time to figure out the NFL game.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think it's interesting because if he hadn't played, the Browns might have thought, okay, we can trust him to be the backup year 2. He's been around. But the fact that he did play, at least it gives me pause whether you can count on him to be the number 2 next year, especially given Deshaun Watson's injury history this year, right? 2023, missed time twice with the shoulder, season ending, all that, coming off an unusual injury for an NFL quarterback. So I think you need to do better than Thompson-Robinson is the backup next season. And you might not have known that if he hadn't played, right? So I think the Browns probably realize that from seeing him play. But there's a chance that he develops to the point where he can be your number two. The thing about him is his arm's weird because I think there's a combine number where he had led the combine in RPMs or a record number, but it doesn't always translate, right? Like we don't see him push the ball down the field. So I think it's there, but maybe all the circumstances need to be right for it's there. He doesn't have the consistent arm strength that you see. Obviously Joe Flacco's got it, but even from a Deshaun Watson, I just don't see that out of DTR.